guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is another story time video. I've been trying to film this video for like a really long time now. This is another ghost story. I'm not like, I don't know what I believe in really, but I do know that I believe in the paranormal because I have experienced it. So this is another one of those types of videos. This involves my sister and it's pretty crazy. It still trips me out to this day. So when I was 10, on my 10th birthday, my papa passed away. My grandpa, my dad's dad, he passed away. And at that time, my sister was 5 months old, and she had been around him. But when you're 5 months old, like what do you know about any people? Like, obviously you are, you know who your mom and dad are, like, you know who your like immediate family are, but like, do you really know who your grandpa is? Like, I don't know. She was 5 months old, barely said any words. Like, I think she had said her first word, like one word. I don't know, but she could barely talk. So I think she was just crawling too. So she was an infant whenever our papa passed away. And so a few months later, I remember it might have been in the summer, so she might have been like 8 or 9 months by now. But I remember we were sitting in our living room and she was on a blanket and she was like playing around, and I was like sitting on the floor playing with her, and she was just kind of like sitting up, and we were playing and laughing, and I was trying to make her laugh, and she looked up and just started like off into space, like, and was just I was trying to get her attention, and she wouldn't look at me, and I kept saying, Ashley, like, hey, what are you looking at? And like, she wouldn't like acknowledge I was speaking to her, and I'm like, what is it? Like, what do you see? And I would like look in her like direction, and it was just like off into like corner in the living room, and goes, Papo, and I was just like, what? Like, where? Like, are you serious? And I would say, where? And she would just point, like where he was at, and like it was just so crazy to me that she knew who he was and that she knew his name, because she hadn't really said hardly any words like when he had like she was 5 months old like when he passed away. So it just like blew my mind. Like, I was like freaked out, but I was also like kind of excited by it, and because like he was my grandpa, you know, and we had just lost him, and it was still so fresh in everybody's hearts and everyone's minds. And there was my little baby sister, all bright-eyed, and she was Papo and all excited and this big smile on her face, and like it was just so crazy to me to think that like maybe he was there, maybe he was just saying his final goodbyes, you know. So that I will remember that like it happened yesterday, because it's so vivid in my mind because it freaked me out. I think that was like my first like real experience with the paranormal that I can remember. I do remember this one time when I was like, I don't know, I was pretty small. I was like maybe 4. And I remember my room being a freaking mess. And I had toys all over the floor, and I had like this little pink like plastic like tea set, like a table, and then like plastic chairs, and they were pink. And I remember like the chair, like there was a chair in the middle of the floor, was like knocked over, and I just had like a bunch of toys like all over my room. And in my closet was pretty big. It had those like pull out doors, you know, so they slid open this way, and it was open. And I got up in the middle of the night because I was afraid, or I had a nightmare or something, I don't know, but I remember waking up in the middle of the night and sitting up on the edge of my bed and like looking out and being like, crap, like my room is such a mess, like I'm gonna have to navigate through all of this stuff. So I'm like stepping over it, and I like trip over my chair and like land on top of my chair, and I'm like, great. And I get up and I like stumble I ended up walking into my closet because it was still dark. And I ended up walking into my closet, meaning to go out my bedroom door into my parents' room because it was right next to my bedroom. And I walk right into the closet and run into like the corner, like the wall in the closet, like through the clothes. And I had like my baby doll. I think I had baby Edward at that time. I had a baby doll. He was a boy. I named him Baby Edward after Edward Scissorhands because I was in love with him when I was a toddler. Okay, so Baby Edward went with me everywhere, and so I had him in my arms, and I was like, I had fallen down because I ran into the wall, and I was like, it was dark, and I was scared, and I remember like laying there and being scared, so I just went back to sleep because I was too like afraid to move because it was just dark, and I wanted my parents, but I had gone into like the wrong room, into my closet, so I just sat there or laid there and fell asleep. But when I woke up in the morning and I walked out of the closet, I walked out of my parents' closet. How? Like, did I sleepwalk? I have never had any other sleepwalking experiences ever in my life since then. I was like 4 and I'm almost 30 and I haven't had any experiences like that since. Like, I don't know. You tell me what it could have been. I think I was probably in junior high. I was really good friends with my neighbor. She lived like a house down from me, or 2 houses down from me. And we decided that we were going to have a seance one night. So we got a bunch of candles in her room and lit all these candles. And we decided we were going to call some spirits. We had just watched The Craft or something. I don't know. But we thought it would be a good idea to call some spirits. And we thought we were going to contact Marilyn Monroe and Elvis. And being like 12, 13, I don't know why we decided we were going to contact Marilyn Monroe and Elvis. It might have been because her mom was obsessed with Elvis and that was the only like famous like dead celebrity that we could think of at that time because we were so young. I don't know. So we tried to call Elvis, and in the middle of our seance, one of the candles just like falls over, and we heard like this banging sound in her closet, and then because the candle had fallen over and we were freaked out by it, and then we heard that banging noise that we weren't paying attention to the candle because we're like, bedding freaking caught on fire. So we had to put that shit out. And we were freaking out. And we're like, oh my god, Elvis tried to kill us. Like, okay, we're never doing this again. But then fast forward a few years later where I play with the Ouija board and shit goes awry. So, yeah, I've had when I think about it, I've actually had like quite a few paranormal experiences before, and so that's why I believe so much in the paranormal, was because I've experienced it. I think it's real. I think that it's something that exists, and I think that only a few people can really like. I think it takes a special type of person to be able to see these things and to feel these things and to like. I don't know how to describe it, but it's definitely out there. So, at least I think. I don't know what it is about me, but anyways, so I hope you guys enjoy these stories. If you have any stories of your own, I'd love to hear them. Please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for coming back and watching another video, and I will see you guys again in my next tutorial or story time. Peace out.